Hello. I'm going to do a little series on transformations. And so, what a transformation is you start with a function, like for example, this one here, g of x equals x squared. So, y equals x squared. So, you have input 0, 0 squared is 0. So, you have the ordered pair 0, 0. That's the vertex. And then 1 squared is 1, and 2 squared is 4, and negative 2 squared is 4, all these different ordered pairs, and you get what's called a parabola. So what we're going to do is we're going to move that around and change its shape, and that's what's called a transformation. So when I say change its shape, it's still going to be a parabola. It's going to have this basic U shape, but you can make it wider or narrower or flip it over. There's different things you can do that are all called transformations. And we're going to start with what are called vertical and horizontal shifts. And I'm going to start with a vertical shift. And the way you do that is you add or subtract a constant number on the outside of the function. So you would have something like x squared plus 2. So I'm going to just write that down. Y equals x squared plus 2. And you see that is still a parabola. And it's moved up 2 units. And the way to think about that is you take the original function, our y equals x squared, and you add 2 to it. So I'm going to make that constant d equals 2, and there you go. It zooms right in there. And so I want to do one last thing before I shut down here. I am going to make a table of values. So if I use my Desmos and make a table, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to have g of x over here and have these different outputs. And I have to remember g of x1. There we go. So that when I put 0, I get 0, and when I put 1, I put 1, and when I put 2, I get 4, things like that. And that's this original function, and you see these dots on here, and I'm going to go ahead and put negative 2 as well. But what happens when you add 2 to the outside of this function, so g of x plus, in this case, 2, when I look at the outputs for that, so h of x1, what it is every single output, in this case, when the input is 0, on the original function it was 0, because 0 squared is 0, I added 2 to that. When the output was 1, for h of x, I added 2 to that. When the output was when the output was 4, because the input was 2, I added 2 to that, and I get 6. So in visually, what I see is as if that function was moved up 2 units. But numerically, what I see is every single dot on the original function y equals x squared is 2 units higher. This one here, I should shift down or move the graph down a little bit so we can see it better. But this 4 is now up here at 6.